Brought to you by Xander Insurance. Compare rates from top term life insurance companies in seconds at Xander.com.
So I've kind of found myself in a predicament. So historically, I've got a job that has paid pretty well. I'm primarily commission, but a lot of the jobs that I've been working with have kind of dried up at the time. And so the salary this year isn't quite as high as it has been in previous years.
What were you making, and what's kind of like a rougher year that you're looking at?
So, my rough year is still not that bad. The rough year, it's going to be about 75, 80. Last year it was 120.
Okay.
And so it's gone down a little bit, which again, 80 is still comfortable. We're still, it's not anything bad. Not to mention, completed babysit 2 last year. I
Awesome.
paid off all the trucks, all the vehicles, and then trying to, I've got everything. I've got about 3 months saved up, so still kind of lower on babysit 3, but trying to
home stretch.
look ahead and yeah, exactly. So trying to look ahead and save money for. I got 2 kids. Try to save for their college and our retirement. So with with paying off the debts, I haven't really saved much for retirement. So obviously in the statistics of it, I'm a little bit behind on that. But my wife's a stay-at-home, and I'd like to keep it that way. But something has come up, and I'm looking at changing job opportunities because I'm really unhappy with my current position. So the situation with this new job is it's an ownership track, but the first 2 years I guess you can call it your franchise fee is sweat equity, if you will.
What kind of job is this?
It's a retail. I'd be taking up a retail position. It's a local place here. But so for the first 2 years, it'd be about $50,000. And my wife is really nervous about me taking this position. Long term, the average salary is about $450 to $500 a year. So long term,
is that what they're just telling you, or is that a reality? Because if I was trying to sell you on getting in my franchise, I'd be telling you the same thing.
No, it's actually I've verified it with quite a few. That's on the low end.
So this this seems like a no brainer. Is she upset? Is she worried about the actual drop in income for 2 years, or is she worried about?
Well, it's part of it, but also part of her responsibility. So, like I said, she's a stay-at-home mom. But with that, I'm going to be working 60 to 65 hours a week, 6 days a week. And she doesn't necessarily want me to do that, and the money's not necessarily worth it to her. So for me, though, looking at my kids' college and our retirement, I think it makes it worth it. I don't hesitate at the work side of it. I don't mind the 60 to 65 hours a week, but she's going to be home with the kids, and she doesn't want to do that.
Yeah, she sees the next 2 years as I'm a single mom, and I'm not going to see my husband, and our lifestyle is going to take a big cut. Things are going to be stressful financially on top of that. I mean, that's reasonable on her side. I'd be feeling the same thing if I were her.
But also the other side of it is, I both me and my wife have had these same things just on either side. Like, hey, I'm going back to school, and so I'm going to keep my full-time job, but I'm also going to be in grad school full-time, which means we're going to high-five each other during the week, and then hopefully I can see you on a Sunday because I'm writing papers all day Saturday. Like, sometimes you do that in a marriage. Is there I don't know, man. Like, I often wonder if there's a deeper conversation here, which is I'm going to make something up, okay? So don't take this to heart. But does she not like who you become when you're working 6 days a week, a whole year? Do you not help out when you do have a few hours around the house? Like, so is she looking at a total lifestyle change, or is she? I hate to cast this on your wife, man, but is she kind of selfish and like, I don't even want to give up 2 years for all of the peace and security this is going to give us down the road?
Yeah, essentially. And she started saying more things that are concerning to me, because it's really important for me to look ahead and save, like I said, for my kids and, for our retirement. And she's not interested in saving for the kids and doesn't want to save for their, college or anything, because, she said she took out student loans, so they can too, which she didn't finish college. And, for me, it's really important to, if I can, if I'm able to, to be able to provide that for my kids. I don't necessarily know.
So give me an example of another situation that you, like, away from kids and away from this job, where y'all are not on the same page.
It's as far as where we're not on the same page.
Yep. Just give me a random one.
It's been that's honestly the only time we ever really.
Everything else is just humming along.
Family, we've seen differently on family, but as far as the values, so she feels sometimes that if she's not the priority, that if something else is the priority, so in that sense, work, or if she's not getting defended or whatnot.
Okay, so that's what I was getting at earlier. Is it may be that she's a selfish person, and no one's going to know this but you, that, and very short-sighted. I don't want you going to work to build into this company that will 8 or 9x its return, right? I don't want you doing that for 2 years, because I can't imagine 2 years of having to parent 6 days a week by myself. Maybe that's the case. Yeah. And I like getting my nails and hair done, and I refuse to go 2 years without getting that done so that the rest of our family's future can be financially secure. Maybe that's the case. Or, like I was saying, maybe she already feels like when you're busy, or maybe she feels like you're already, she's already a mistress to your job. When you get to working a lot, you're not pleasant to be around, or you come home and just plop on the couch and start researching golf clubs. Or I don't know. I'm just making stuff up, but that's the question I would want to get to.
Yeah.
And is there a reality to the situation where you guys can't afford to live on $50,000?
Or she has to go back to work for 2 years, and this is just a 2 year. Everyone's making concessions for 2 years so that we can get to this place where I own this company. I'm making $400,000 a year, and we have an entirely different family tree because of that.
Yeah. And that's what I've tried to communicate to her, which is I'm more pleasant to be around whenever, I feel fulfilled in my job, which I haven't been recently, but I still do. I mean, most of the dishes, most of the laundry, whenever I come back. Okay. But I've kind of gotten it pretty bad to where, I've conditioned her I let her sleep in the mornings. I get my kid ready for the morning, and, I'm back well before 5. And,
even using the language, I condition her and let her, makes her sound a lot more like my Australian Shepherd than your wife, right?
Yeah.
And so maybe even just back, I think y'all need to go sit with a marriage counselor, because I think the issues here are deeper than, should I take this job or that job?
You guys aren't aligned on a lot of things, and money and family and priorities, there's a lot there. You said, well, we're pretty much on the same page except for these 3 major areas. And right. You told me that she doesn't even, she's fine going into debt for the whole family, and you just told me you crawled out of baby step 2.
Yeah.
So there's already some differing, tracks here that worry me. But I think there's truth to both of your situations.
Yeah.
You see a financial future that could change your family tree, and she sees 2 years of hell. Yeah. And both things can be true.
And this is me just loving you as best I can. Not being aligned on family and kids and money, those are 3 real big issues, which I would say means we're not aligned on the big rocks, right? Those you got to be on the same page on those.
And I would do your homework on this franchise. I'm not saying it's too good to be true, but I am wondering, Adam seems like a sharp young guy, but why Adam and not the next? Why is there not a line of people going, I can make $400,000 in 2 years, sign me up? Right. So I would just ask a lot of questions before I went, no, this guy told me I'll make $400,000 in 2 years no matter what. That part worries me as well.
If anyone depends on your income, you need affordable term life. Never cash value insurance. Visit Xander.com today for quotes.